as of late 2010, I was here in Egypt. I was covering the parliamentary elections, and then comes Tunisia, and that really changed the game. And January 25th here in Egypt, sort of inspired by Tunisia, and then that 18 days was this incredible whirlwind. It was so euphoric, and it was, I think, one of the things that makes right now so painful, 16 months later, is that there were so many people, so many Egyptians who I believed surprised themselves during the revolution. Proved themselves capable of more than they had given themselves credit for. And now everyone's kind of feeling let down, I feel. Not everyone, obviously. There's people who are happy about the way things are going, but honestly, it does feel like the mood of the country is this letdown, disappointment, possibly disappointment in their fellow Egyptians, possibly disappointment in each other, disappointment in their friends, disappointment in themselves at having been outmaneuvered or having failed to overcome the old ways and the old thinking and the old power structure. It feels like we're being dragged backward into something that we were hoping to escape. I feel like everyone around me has been depressed for 3 weeks. And I talked to a guy outside the polling place who actually phrased it better than I could, who said that I feel like we're not voting for anything. We're voting against something. We're voting against something horrible. The Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, and these appeared very early, actually, were not really all that interested in changing the way the country works. I mean, a revolution in the true definition of that word, of altering the architecture of the country, of the way that power and authority flows in Egypt, that was not the goal. We're reverting to the old fault line. We're reverting to the security establishment versus Muslim Brotherhood. It's the failure to overcome these things. They're like these old networks one sway, and maybe you could argue that the revolutionary forces just didn't have enough time. I don't think the mistakes were in the political organization or the sort of the maneuvering between blocks. I think the mistake was partially not getting their message out, allowing the losing control of the message and losing control of how they were portrayed, and failing to really get the word out about what they represented. But I think this place is still bubbling, and I think we'll never go back to Mubarak days. Honestly, my feelings towards Tahrir Square changed a couple months back. It's been a while now that coming to Tahrir, even when it's relatively crowded, has been kind of depressing for me. And outside of the coffee shop where we're sitting right now, there is maybe 300 people, maybe 400 chanting. I mean, they're barely even holding up traffic. I think Tahrir as a rallying point and as a sort of emotional touchstone, I don't know if it's dead forever, but it's certainly at a low point. I think the people that are trying to change the country are frantically meeting each other in coffee shops and each other's homes and political party offices. I don't think Tahrir, I think Tahrir has been rendered temporarily, possibly, but irrelevant. The last new event I was able to get into the book was from October, from before the parliamentary elections, and so many things have happened. I mean, I feel like half a book's worth of stuff has happened since the book came out. And I mean, the last chapter, you would have to, it's a grim little bookend if you end it right now with, something trite like The Empire Strikes Back is the chapter. It just feels like a reversion. It feels like the end of a phase. Maybe it's just part one of the trilogy. Maybe it's part two of the trilogy. Is you want to view this in Western movie trilogy standards? This is the end of The Empire Strikes Back. The first one was Star Wars, and ended sometime in mid 2011 amidst all the euphoria, and everything the past year has just been Act 2. And we'll have to see about Act 3. Maybe we'll have some festivities and some dancing Ewoks or something for this third part.